Hello, everybody. We're back once again. I'm sure you probably thought we weren't coming back, but no, we're back. Had a little technical difficulties there while we're transitioning the, how we've transitioned the Gearheads on Demand service to a paid system. So we had some technical issues with that, and because of that, I'm going to make an announcement today. It's nothing bad, so don't worry. But let me check and make sure everything's rolling before I do. Facebook is rolling. Okay, let me check over here. All right, so we got people showing up. Mike Irwin, what's going on, Mike Irwin? Gene Hansen, welcome back. 2 inches of new snow. Oh man, it is beautiful outside today here in Central. You remember like a week ago, we had 5 degrees. I told you we had 5 degrees. It's 66 today. 66 degrees in Central Arkansas. Craig, what's going on, man? What's shaking, Gearhead? Big Mike, what's going on, Big Mike? 37, overcast in beautiful northwest Indiana. Stephen Kuhn, hello from Barth, Florida. 63. It's going to be warmer here today than it is there, Stephen. Mike Irwin. Kurt, what's going on, Kurt? I spoke with Kurt. Kurt is the latest bag of swag winner. Kirk says he received his swag Saturday. Thank everyone at GCG for me, will you please? I did, Kurt. I already did. We have an inter-office message system that we can all communicate when we're at work. I can communicate with everybody at Golf Cart Garage. They can communicate with me at any time. And I posted it there. I posted what you said and how you wanted me to thank everybody. And everybody saw it. Everyone at GCG saw it, and they all appreciated it. So thank you for the kind words that you said, Kurt. Rich Eastmain, what's going on? Gene Hansen. Oh, Ricky Smith. What's going on, Ricky? Sir Walter from North Carolina. Jeffrey, what's going on, Jeffrey? Congrats again on Kirk. Gary says he doesn't care what it is outside as long as it isn't snowing. Yeah, I get, the snow it's nice for a little while, but man, when it starts getting packed down and starts turning to ice and you can't get out of your neighborhood, and I mean, we were literally held up here for right at a week before I could leave my neighborhood. So luckily, we had planned for that. To a tip that fits an E-Z-GO. Salt, SALTYCD. Can you swap the charger tip from a club car charger to a tip that fits an E-Z-GO? It depends on what club car we're talking about, not the 48 volt club car charger. No, because I need to know more specifics. Are we talking about 36 to 36, 48 to 48? Or what are we talking about there? And I also have to know the year of the club car, because I have to know if it has an onboard computer on board or not. If it's 48, if it's 36, I know it doesn't. Alfonso, how can I make the steering wheel of my club car Precedent softer? You may get the prize for the first time I've ever been asked that question, Alfonso. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. So you may get the surprise. You may get the prize for that today. But if that's a serious question, then I'd get one of those wraps like they have for an automobile. They got leather wraps, that for automobiles that you put around the steering wheel. That'd be the only thing I could think of. Bill Prue. What's up, Bill Prue? Foggy and Kennewick, Washington. Finishing golf cart lithium conversion for golfing weather next week. Cool. Jeffrey says he wants an 18-inch snowstorm. I don't know about that. Let me go over to Facebook and see if we're still rolling. Shannon Hebert on Facebook. I have a 440 volt Navitas controller on a club car 2004 club car Precedent. App is not showing mile per hour or RPM. Also only getting 20 mile per hour with stock motor. Now, actually, 20 mile per hour with stock motor is probably okay because just going to just changing to the Navitas on an IQ system or a Precedent, which is an IQ system, it's basically just going to unlock it, and an unlocked normal controller on a Precedent only goes about 19.6. So 20 that sounds about normal. Now the other stuff sounds like you may have an app issue or something there going on. I would just continue to do a series of reboots or uninstall and reinstall to see if you can get that to show up. That just sounds like a glitch in the app to me. Bart Gillum, hello Tim. 45 in North Carolina, lots of rain coming starting Wednesday. Northern California, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, you're not talking about soft, you're talking about it's hard to turn, Alfonso. I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. Well, if it's hard to turn, there's a couple of things you need to check. You need to check your spindles to make sure that they're free. Raise the front end off the ground, put a floor jack on it, and have the front end off the ground, and then grab your tire and turn it and see if you feel any resistance. And if you have to, you may have to disconnect the tie rod. You may have to disconnect that tie rod and then see if that tire rotates left and right freely, because a lot of times they'll get hung up right there, the kingpins in the spindle. So that's what I would check first. I ordered charger. Salt says he currently has an E-Z-GO golf cart. I ordered charger off eBay, and the one that was delivered fits a club car, not an E-Z-GO. I was hoping it would just put a tip to fit it. It's a 48. All right, Salt, this is where it gets complicated. Your E-Z-GO's a 48 and your club car's a 48. I need to know if that charger is for a club car with an OBC or without before I can answer your question. It would say for the 48 volt charger, if it was for a club car, it would say somewhere, it would say for non-OBC cars or for club cars with OBC. That's going to be right around the year 2014 that they made that change. Easy Mike to you, what's going on, sir? Bill Prue, do I need to worry on the slight constant drain on my 48 volt battery from the reducer I installed? Technically, you're not supposed to have to worry about that, but I can tell you this, I have never installed a reducer without putting an on-off switch on the main wire. I mean, even if the instructions didn't call for it. I run a separate switch when I install a reducer on one of the wires, the main positive or the main negative, so I can shut it completely off. In other words, so it's disconnected from the system. Sounds like his front end needs cleaning and grease. Stephen Kuhn, yeah. Salt, did I answer your question? I mean, I know it's hard to. There's just some technical things I'd need to know in order to answer it completely, and it has to do with the OBC. If it turns out that charger you got, the 48 volt charger, is for a non-OBC club car, then yeah, technically you should be able to switch it to another plug and use it. But if it's for an OBC club car, then no, it's not going to work. Let me go over to Facebook. Yep, we're still rolling. Oh, I said I was going to make an announcement. We are transitioning, over to the paid service, the Gearheads On Demand service. I put up the tile at the end of the episodes, and you can see the different pay levels. Well, we've been transitioning over to that paid service. There's still some bugs in the service. There's still some bugs we're trying to work out. Well, so far it's showing some promise. It's promising. It looks like there may be some good results to come out of it. So we are going to free up some more of my time in order to be able to take some of those paid calls. So as of now, we are going to go to one episode a week. I know this is going to be, you're all going to have withdrawals and stuff, but we're going to go to one episode a week, Tuesdays. We're going to come here on Tuesdays. Everything will be the same. You'll still get your notification, on Tuesdays right before we go live. But we're going to try that so I can have a little more time to do some of these paid calls. So as of now, we're going to a 1 live a week schedule. Tuesdays, 12 noon Central Time. I think it's Taco Tuesday. Tim Taco Tuesday. Tim Taco Tuesday. That's the way you can remember it. That's what we're going to do. Salt says, "How would I know if it's for an OBC cart?" Well, I'm telling you, it's going to say that somewhere. It's either going to say it on the charger, it's going to say it on where you ordered it from, on the advertisement, because that's a very important fact. If it's going to be it's going to be for 48 volt club cars 2014 or earlier, or it's going to be for 48 volt club cars 2013 or later. Leonardo Rodriguez. What's going on, Leonardo? I gas E-Z-GO 2001 and replaced all the electronics and have to give spark to the plugs. No luck. Can it be the foot switch? The foot switch, this is what the foot switch would be. The main thing the foot switch does is it engages the solenoid to turn the starter over. The foot switch is not going to have anything to do with spark. It's going to have something to do with engaging the solenoid, which then turns the starter over. If you got a spark issue, it's going to be something else. Ricky Smith, Kurt. Yeah, I knew Kurt was going to take that hard. Well, you know, change it's a business. We are trying to run a business here, and we're going to just give this a shot and see how this works. They had to free up some more of my time some kind of way. No problem, Salt. I hope I was able to help you a little bit there, but it's going to say that somewhere. It's going to be club cars before 14 and club cars after. No more Thirsty Thursday, William Rizzo. That's right. It's Taco Tuesday from now on. Mike Irwin, I don't like change. Big Mike, I hate this. Yes, it was. You're right, Craig. That's how far Craig goes back. He remembers when it was just 1 day a week. Yep. Well, thank you, Big Mike. Yeah, it's a change. We're gonna give it a shot. So far, it's got potential. So, you know, that's here lately. You know, we've been doing it for a little while now. But like I said, there's still some bugs in the system. But we can see that it has potential. So we're doing some more testing and continue with it. Tim Talks Tuesday. Yeah. Whatever way you can remember it by, you know, Taco Tuesday, Tim Talks. Shannon says, thank you. Hey, Tim, Keith from Palmetto, sunny and 65. I got about the same here today, Keith. It's a beautiful day here in Arkansas today. Miles Tobin, hey, Tim. Both spindles are the same shaft size. I have stock, both same, but ordered replacement, and the driver's side bearing fit on, but the passenger side bearing didn't fit over. E-Z-GO TXT Series 2004. Yes, that's a tough call there, Miles. I mean, if your bearing is not fitting, something must not be exactly the same. Are the numbers on the bearing race, have you compared those? Because on the bearing race, there should be numbers. Okay. Joe Foster, hello Tim, 45 in Kings Mountain. What's going on, Joe? Dang the bad luck on the new schedule. I'm sorry about that. We're lots of thought went into it, you know, before we made that decision. Gene Hansen, you're going to put a lot of us in withdrawals. I'm all from Westfield, Wisconsin at 38 degrees. That spark problem could be as little as a little corrosion in one of the connectors. Could be a hell of a lot of different reasons. Yep. I guess I should go to the regular questions. By the way, where's my social media links? Follow us on YouTube and Facebook if you would, but you can also follow us on other platforms. I'm running the links there for TikTok and Instagram. But give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already on YouTube. Bill B. What's up, Bill B? Good afternoon. Replaced everything. Leonardo Rodriguez, what was your question, Leonardo? Let me go back and see if I can find it. Oh, an E-Z-GO. Okay. Well, look at what Jeffrey said. That spark could be as little as a little corrosion in one of the connectors. Could be a hell of a lot of different reasons, yeah. If you've replaced everything, then did you replace your connectors? Bill B has a Yamaha G22E that has an issue when trying to move. It will start to move forward or reverse about 3 feet and will die. No beep for reverse and will not do anything. Bill B, now if I turn to tow and back on to run it, it will beep again for reverse and move forward for the same as above. Batteries are good and fully charged. Craig says, well, Bill, I'm thinking throttle position sensor or speed sensor. I wouldn't be thinking speed sensor. I can tell you this, that is a symptom of a bad controller. I have seen that many times, not in a Yamaha. I haven't seen that in a Yamaha. What did you tell me your car was? Did you tell me? Yeah, it's a Yamaha. I haven't personally seen that in a Yamaha, but I have seen that exact symptom several times in an E-Z-GO and a club car. So that's not to say that it couldn't happen in a Yamaha, but that would be a lot of times a controller, the car will, if it's a bad controller, the car will actually bump forward when you try to move and then just completely die and not be able to do it again. And then you hit reverse and it'll bump back to reverse. I've seen that several times and it turned out to be a bad controller. I hope that's not, bad news for you there, but you could try, I wouldn't say speed sensor, but you could try the throttle position sensor and see if that does anything. Leonardo Jeffries just put a list of stuff that it could be for spark. Thank you, Jeffrey. Okay, this is January the 30th today. Yeah, this is January 30th. We're live on January 30th on Facebook and YouTube right now. So if you're watching us on this is Tuesday. I have Thursday written on my sheet here. I almost said Thursday. Yeah, this is January 30th. This is Tuesday, January 30th. Bill B, this is an old cart. I bet you're right. Thank you very much. My first time here. Love the clear videos you create. Well, thank you, Bill. Thank you. We've gotten to the point now where there's a lot of people in the room that have experience also, not just myself. So we're able to draw on other people's experience, as far as is working on their golf carts and stuff. Jeffrey, he does this now. He's doing this now. He works at a place where he has to work on stuff like this all the time. So. No, you're not at all, Jeffrey. It's like I just said, you're not stepping on me at all. I appreciate the other experience. I don't know everything. I've got a lot of experience, with it, but I don't know everything. So, some of you probably have experience with certain golf carts that I don't. See, in my shop, I was in my shop for about 17 years. I actually didn't get a lot of Yamahas through there because, Yamaha, Club Car, and E-Z-GO, they have territory issues. And where I was located, there were more E-Z-GOs and club cars than there were Yamahas. In other parts of the country, there's Yamaha territories. But I did get occasional Yamaha, and I've got, I own a Yamaha, but an old Yamaha. But see, a lot of you might have more experience at certain Yamahas than I do. Of course I got Yamahas in my shop, but not near as many as it was E-Z-GOs and club cars. Have you guys seen the club car that the snow tracks instead of tires? Saw it on Golf Carts Modified. It's crazy. I haven't seen that yet, but I know about Golf Carts Modified. I'll see if I can find that. Good to know. As the saying goes, I'll be back again. Thanks again. Thank you, Bill B. Thank you for stopping by and uh, contributing to this. That's what we're here for. Yes, Miles. Miles is asking, are the spindles the same and race the same? Is, unless I'm missing something on a 2004, yes, they should be the same. Mark Folsom. What's going on, Mark Folsom? Kirk says, Tim, if you were only going to be on 1 day a week, can you extend that day to 2 hours? Not at this time, Kirk, but we'll see how it goes, because that may be a possibility, but not as of now. We're going to try to still get it all in 1 hour, which is going to be difficult, but we're going to give it a shot. Jeffrey says he gets a lot. He gets a lot of Yamahas. Easy Go gas, a few. Club Car all gas last summer. A lot of electrics new. Yeah, see, in different parts of the country, it's going to be different. But that's why I actually used to work for Club Car, so that they have territories. All right, I better get started on the regular questions, or we will be running long. This is from Miles. I don't know if this is from Miles. Is this question from you, Miles? On Facebook, 2004 E-Z-GO TXT. I'd like to know if the early model RXV body will bolt onto a 2004 TXT frame without fabrication. Please let me know what are the differences that make it not interchangeable and what it would take to make it fit. Well, I can tell you this. First, let me see if that was you. Did you answer me on Facebook? TXT and RXV. Now, they're going to be completely different. You have to understand, a RXV is a complete redesign. E-Z-GO has had the TXT for a long time, for years and years and years and years. The RXV was a complete redesign. So the body is completely different. It's going to be completely different mounting points. Now, depending on a person's fabrication skills, I'm sure that it could be done. But the bottom line is, it sure would be a lot easier to not do it and put a TXT on a TXT and an RXV on an RXV. There's going to be plenty of takeoff bodies out there that you could get a hold to. Mason Grove, what's going on, Mason? Just checking in. Lake City. Robert, let's see. Seater, I guess it would be how you say it. Seater on Facebook. Would it be a waste of time to put Pathway front brakes on my DS? There's a couple of things you could do. No, I don't think it would be a waste of time if you really think you need that. If your Pathway is real fast, and if your DS is real fast. But Jake's makes some disc brakes too. You're talking about OEM club car brakes. That's going to be really expensive. Look at Jake's lift kits. They also make some hydraulic brakes that you might be interested in. Miles Tobin says that was an old post, so it was you. Okay, found out about body. Okay, so it was you. Craig says RXVs suck. Don't get one. Eric Boucher, I have a question about battery cable size. I'm getting ready to do the rattlesnake motor. Should I go with 2 gauge or is 4 okay? Only because price is about triple. Really? I didn't realize there'd be that much difference in them. But, well, it's kind of one of those things. A lot of times, even 6 gauge would be okay. A lot of times. But if you're going with the rattlesnake, it's very likely you may end up with some warm cables. So if you wanted to be sure, I would go ahead and go to 4. Go to 2. go ahead and go all the way. And then you know you're not going to have that issue. You're not going to hurt anything by going with something that's too big when it comes with cable side. You're not going to hurt anything by going too big. You could end up with an issue if you went too small. So if there's a question, I'd go to 2. That car there has got 2 in it. Mine got 2 because I didn't want to have to. I made mine too, by the way. You might ought to look into that. I bought a set of a real good squeeze crimper from Snap-on, and made my cables, soldered the ends, put heat shrink around them and everything. So, and it didn't cost that much. You know, it wasn't that big a deal. But that was a long time ago. I know wire is probably much more expensive now. Club car starter tensioners in yet? If not this week, I'll send you one of my prototypes. Yeah. All right, cool. Number 2, the regular questions. I need to put front brakes on my wife's Yamaha QuietTech. You need to put a lot of pedal pressure compared to my club car precedent. Check with Jake's. Check, go to golfcartgarage.com, and because we sell Jake's, we're a dealer for Jake's. So and look up brakes and see if they make them for your Yamaha, will you? Number 2, 2016. This is from Ron S. 2016 club car precedent with an ERIC charger. That's correct. So that's normal so far. Because this is after the onboard computer, so 2016 would be an ERIC charger. That's not an onboard computer controlled charger. Every time I plug in the charger, it charges for 2 hours or so, then defaults to orange or yellow. I've tried 2 different chargers with the same results. The batteries are 2021 and test just fine. Have you seen this in your experience and found a cause other than the batteries? Well, we know this. This is what we know, Ron. It is either the charger, the batteries, or the receptacle. We know that right off the bat because you don't have an OBC. Charger, batteries, or receptacle. All right? And you've tried 2 different chargers with the same results. So we kind of have eliminated the charger as being the problem. So now we're down to batteries and receptacle. Would be very unlikely that you had 2 chargers that would do the same, that had the same problem. But it's not impossible. I'd continue with that. I'd continue trying to eliminate those chargers. Like try those on another cart. See what you get. Jeffrey says 2 to 4 gauge ends are $349 at Harbor Freight. That's a good idea. From Mark, have a 2002 Club Car gas, but the transmission is stuck. Can I get a 94 DS gas transmission, and are they interchangeable? 2002 94. Oh, that's right. I looked this up. I looked that up to Mark, and I'm coming back with completely different part numbers, and it's going to be not interchangeable from a 94. Now there would be a range of years that it would be interchangeable, but not, you can't go back to 94 from the research, the little bit of research that I did beforehand. I was just looking at the part numbers for a 94 versus a 2002, and it's completely different part numbers. If they were interchangeable, it'd be the same. That's the way I see it. Let me go to Facebook over here. Number 4. This is from Pete. I came across your video on YouTube and thought about asking a question. I have a 2006 E-Z-GO TXT. I replaced the speed magnet. I had jacks under the cart and tested the throttle after replacement. It wanted to go really fast, but after 3 seconds, the speed decreased drastically to about 5-ish miles per hour. Any idea what it could be? Also to add, it's battery powered, and I did replace the throttle sensor first, because you're talking about the ITS. All right. It was working just fine at top speed of 19 miles per hour, but I heard of changing the speed magnet, it would get more. My eagerness got the best of me, so I changed the magnet, and that's when I got the issue. Well, what was your name? Pete. Pete, I can tell you this, that symptom that you're describing is definitely a classic sign of a speed sensor going this bad. So something to do with your magnets not working like it was supposed to. So you might ought to change it back and figure that out, because that's definitely a sign of a bad speed sensor when it drops down dramatically like that from top end speed. Number 5. This is from Willie. I have new heavy duty leaf springs on my DS. The ride is way too stiff. Is it possible to remove any of the leaves from them to tone down the stiffness? Well, the answer is yes, it is on some. You look at your spring and see. It's very possible on some on heavy duty leaf springs that I've seen that you can remove leaves out of them. We get this question all the time. It's amazing how many people put heavy duty leaf springs on their car and they didn't realize that it was going to make the ride stiffer. It's a very common thing. Heavy duty leaf springs are for carrying around more weight. They're not to make your car ride any better. In fact, it's going to make it stiff as a board. Number 6. Stephen Coon says, sign of an eBay or Amazon cheap aftermarket sensor. Oh yeah, that's with the guy with the speed sensor issue. Yeah, that could be it for sure. Joe Foster even says he's got experience with that on Amazon Magnet. There's a lot of cheap, I mean, I hear this all the time. There is a lot of very, very inexpensive parts out there on Amazon and eBay that I hear horror stories about from customers all the time. They say, well, I changed the ITS, Tim. And I say, oh, okay, well, where did you get it? Oh, I got it off of Amazon. It was 25 bucks. I say, 25 bucks for an ITS? That sounds kind of light, you know, and ends up being, doesn't even function, you know. Tommy Bedford, dang, I almost missed you today. You're going to have to start calling me and telling me you're on the LMB. You don't get a notification, Tommy? You got to subscribe to get a notification, and then you don't even have to remember. William Rizzo says you get what you pay for. Yep, that is true. That is true and has been true forever. Number 6 is where I'm at. This is from Marcus. I have a 2009 Yamaha Adventurer 1 and I'm looking to lift it. Any idea of the drive would be similar parts or what modifications might need to happen? Thank you for any information you can provide. Okay, see, a Yamaha Adventurer 1, I know what that is. It's a little bit different than a normal Yamaha. So what you're going to need to do to get the answer to that question directly, Marcus, you're going to need to talk to a lift kit manufacturer specifically. They'll have a technical support line or they'll have a technician or something like that. But you're going to need to call Jake's directly, Jake's Lift Kits, or I'll give, none better not do that. Call Jake's directly. Jake, you'll be able to find their phone number on the internet, or they may have a form that you can fill out. Ask them which lift kit is for a Yamaha Adventurer 1, and they will know, I can assure you, they'll know which one of theirs, or if that is even, if they even have something. I'm sure they do. It's probably one of their other lift kits for like a G29 or a G22, but I don't know off the top of my head because that's a very specific car. It's built a little bit different. Oh, you were sleeping, Tommy. That's why you didn't get it. Amazon, you have to know what is good or trash, Jeffrey. Yeah, that's true. See, there are some inexpensive Chinese parts or overseas parts that you can get away with, but there's some that are important that you can't get away with. There are some that are important. Like I think I told this story one time. I had a overseas tie rod that I installed on a golf cart. Took off across the pasture wide open. Tie rod broke for no reason. Both front wheels went 90 degrees while I was going wide open, and I slammed into the steering wheel. The cart did a nose wheelie in the pasture because this was a pretty fast cart. Well, see, that's where you can't get. That's one part you can't get away with having a very, very inexpensive overseas part is a tie rod. So see, there are certain parts that are very important. That's what I'm talking about. You can't skimp on. Bill Prue, 2015 Club Car, taking bumps very hard. Is this mostly a shock issue? Should I just change them? Probably the ones are ones still in. Well, Bill, shocks on a golf cart, I've said this before, they don't really do too much. I don't think that it's going to be a shock deal. It's most likely going to be a spring issue. You know, if you've got a worn spring or something like that on your golf cart. Because shocks don't really do too much. They're just sitting there. They're just there to dampen the blow. They're not actually helping your car ride any smoother. Kurt says better off with OEM than cheap wannabe parts. Go to GCG for parts you can depend on. Well, we have access at GCG to a lot of OEM parts, but not all of them. You know, not all of our parts are OEM. I don't want to mislead anybody, but we do have access to a lot of OEM parts. Sir Walter, talking about prices, do you have any experience with Red Hawk M cores? Any negative thoughts? No, we sell Red Hawk M cores, and I'm the tech guy, so I would have, you know, if we had a lot of returns on that, I would know about it. And I'm not getting an overwhelming number of negative comments about Red Hawk M cores. No. Yeah, Bill, the only thing you can do there probably would be to adjust your air pressure. Make sure you're not running around with max pressure because you don't have to, even though it says it on the tire, but that's max pressure. It doesn't mean that you can't air it down. And we're going to talk about something like that in a little bit later too with the Let's See segment. Because I got a car that I had mentioned before that I had built, and it has to do with air pressure, rim height, and tire height versus rim height, all of that stuff that we talked about on a previous episode. Jeffrey says, just like Lowe's and Home Depot, if you buy John Deere from them, they are made to Lowe's specs, even the same model. Just one example. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's actually, I think my John Deere might be a real one that I got, my lawnmower. I don't think it came from Lowe's. I think it came from a John Deere thing. I can't remember. I got it from my mom. Sir, number 7. Well, what was number 6? You could call Marcus. I said call Jake's directly, but you could call Golf Cart Garage and have one of our amazing customer service representatives that work at Golf Cart Garage. You could have them send the message to Jake's if you would like, and they will be glad to get back with you. That's what we need to know. We just need to know which lift kit. So someone's just going to have to ask them because it's such a cart-specific question. Number 7. This is from Curtis. Why is my 2017 Club Car Precedent surging at low speeds? And can I use an extension cord? And what length should I buy? Well, let's take the extension cord question first. That's the title of the episode. Can I use an extension cord? You know, the older golf cart chargers, the big heavy ones that have the big transformer inside of them, it is not recommended to use an extension cord with those. You won't find it anywhere where that's recommended. Now, can you use an extension cord with those? You can, but it'd have to be a big one. It'd have to be like I don't know if you know what an RV extension cord is, but they're real big, real expensive because they're so big of an extension cord. Now, the newer Chargers are solid state. They don't have that big heavy transformer inside of them. They're solid state. They're a little bit easier on the electrical outlet. So yeah, you can use an extension cord with those. Chargers like the Summit, chargers like the ERIC Club Car Charger, the EasyGo, the new EasyGo chargers. You can use an extension cord with those. And as far as how big, as big as you can get would be the safest thing, and as short as you can get would be the safest thing. The longer the run, the bigger the cord is going to need to be in order to be safe. So get as short as you possibly can stand, and as big as you can possibly afford. That's about it. Tina Wilson. Hello, Tina, on Facebook. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Rich says the length of the cord depends on how far you want to go. 4 gauge for 50 foot, $60 Harbor Freight. 50 foot extension cord, 4 gauge. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, 50 foot, yeah, that wouldn't be bad. $60. Oh, and the other part of that question, there was a second part of that question. Number 7, can I use an extension cord? Was it surging at low speeds? Well, the device in that car, 2017 Club Car Precedent, that is sending the signal to the controller to tell the controller what to output to the motor is the M core. So surging is most likely a product, it's most likely a symptom of an M core is what the thing that's surging. Now, that is a cart, that electrical system can be read with a Club Car reader, and they could spot that M core surge if that was the issue. The Club Car dealer could spot that in like 5 minutes after plugging in that little special computer to your car. So that's something to think about. They could spot it exactly if that's what it is. That's what I'll say it is. That's what I think it is based on my experience. But if you wanted to verify that, they could verify that for you. And then you could change it yourself if you wanted to, and you're going to have to pay them to verify it. Number 8. So it's $60 for 25 foot at Harbor Freight for 4 gauge. Number 8 is from Russ. 2007 Club Car Precedent, and after stopping the cart, the brake lights stay illuminated for nearly 5 minutes. Is there an adjustment I can make to change this to something a little bit more reasonable? There's not an adjustment on the ones that we sell. It's a sealed timer box, and if I'm not mistaken, the norm is 4 minutes. So if you're saying almost 5 minutes, that kind of sounds like the norm to me. Number 9. This is from Sean. Hello, Tim. Have an issue with my cart. No fuel is getting to the engine. We replaced the fuel filter and all gas lines, but the cart won't start because no fuel is getting to it. Would this be the fuel pump? It very likely could be. What you can do is you can pull the fuel line off of the carburetor, and then crank the car over, and fuel should spurt out of that line. You should see fuel spurting out of that as the engine turns over. If you do not, then back up, and what's the first thing that goes to? That goes to the fuel pump. So it's very likely that could be your issue. It would be a very common replaced part. How low air pressure can you run in the tires before it starts affecting your speed and battery life? Well, Tommy, that's a good question, because it starts affecting your speed and battery life immediately. I mean, it does. A golf cart, when the tires are aired up tight, it has the least rolling resistance. So anytime you go lower on your tires, you're going to affect your battery life. That's for certain, and possibly your speed. So that's a good question. That's why you gotta small area there to play with. Ten gauge. All right, let's see, that's not very big. 50 foot of 10 gauge is 60 bucks. Kevin, what's going on, Kevin? You're on the road from Denver, Pennsylvania. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Okay. Number 9, if I haven't done that one already. Did I do that one? No, yeah, that was the fuel pump. Number 10. We're on the last scheduled question. We're doing pretty good today on time. We're going to get to let's see here in just a second. This number 10 is from Michelle. I'm looking for heavy-duty leaf springs, looking to haul another additional 300 to 350 pounds. Which HD springs would be the best for that amount of weight? Thank you for the help. Well, that's quite a bit of extra weight, Michelle, that you're thinking of hauling around. So definitely go with 4 leaves. You know, go with a 4-leaf spring. Just make sure it's a 4-leaf setup. That'll be real stiff. That'll be real good to put that extra weight on. That's at least, 2 good-sized people you're thinking about hauling. So I'd go with a 4-leaf for that. That's a big load. That's a good question, Eric. They have jumper cables that are fairly cheap. You can get in 2 gauge, but is that real copper or aluminum clad? That would be a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not real copper. I don't see how it could be if they're cheap, because real copper ain't cheap. Robert Cedar on Facebook. My DS brake lights stay on long enough to melt the lens. I didn't know they were on a timer and wired them to a horn button I mounted on the brake pedal. It's hillbilly, but it works. So you got yours to where you can shut them off, Robert? Stayed on long enough to melt the lens. I didn't know they were on a timer and wired them to a horn button I mounted on the brake pedal. Oh, you mounted the horn button on the brake pedal. So instead of having a timer, you're saying. It's hillbilly, but it works. I got you. I see what you're saying. All right. Yeah, that would, yeah, I wouldn't like that at all if they get that hot. I mean, that's, to me, that's kind of a faulty design and you fixed it. That's the way I look at that. Joe Foster, thank you for sharing your knowledge and everyone at GCG. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for saying that. All right, the title of this episode was, Can I Use an Extension Cord? I think we went over that. Just as a general rule, if you have to use an extension cord on a golf cart charger, because a golf cart charger does pull quite a bit, and newer ones pull way less than the older ones did, like I said, they're easier on your electrical outlet. If you have to use an extension cord, make sure it's a big one. A big one, and as short as you possibly can make it to meet your application, to fit your application. And Craig says, when times get hard, you can melt it down. Yep, that's true. I did the social media links, but I'll do them again. Please like and subscribe if you have not already on Facebook and YouTube, and that you can follow us on these other platforms also. If you would like to buy a hat like our own Kurt won, and I think it was the last episode, you can. There's links in the description that take you straight to them. Bam, there's the hats. I never can get that right. That's all backwards. There's the hats. Links in the description, hot links that'll take you straight to the hats if you'd like to buy one. And we do give hats away, and I will be announcing the next hat giveaway a week in advance, so you'll know. Since we're going to once a week on the lives. Let's see. Let's see some carts. This cart is a cart that I did for a customer. And the reason that I picked this, when I was looking through some old photos, I have lots of photos of carts that I had built for customers and carts that I had put together and carts I've sold. And Sir Walter, you may have missed the announcement. I announced at the beginning, but I'll announce it again now because it reminded me that some people may have came in late. We're going to one time a week, Sir Walter. We're going to one live per week. As of today, we're starting today. We're going to one live a week. Tuesdays only. Everything is the same time. You'll still get your notification. Everything's the same. So we're dropping the Thursday live because it frees up some time for me to take the paid calls. You know, we're experimenting with the paid call service, the paid GHOD service that we've been slowly launching. And we're going to free up some more of my time to be able to take those calls. So as of today, it's just going to be on Tuesday. Sorry about that, Big Mike. It's a business decision. Okay, let's see. Okay, you remember when we were talking about tire height, rim height, lowering air pressure, all the different things that you can do, the combinations of all of those things in order to change your ride quality. Well, I remember speaking about a cart that I said that I had made that it would just float through the woods. It was the smoothest setup I had ever done. And I found pictures of that cart. So that's the one that I'm going to show here today. Here it is. You ready for this? Bam! 94 E-Z-GO Marathon, 4-inch drop axle, 22-inch tires on 8-inch rims. And I'm telling you, that thing would just float through the woods. It'd float across the pasture. It would float down the trail. It's completely stock electronics. You know, it was completely stock marathon electronics. It's a controller marathon, not a resistor. I would not ever recommend lifting a resistor marathon, but a controller marathon is a good platform for lots of reasons, which one day we'll get into that. Let's see. Sir Walter says, recently watched episode 1 with you sitting on the cart seat. You've come a long way. Yeah, I do. I remember that. I sat in, that was actually the garage at my house, which is next door. And this building didn't even exist then. This building, you know, was being constructed probably at that time. So I never knew that I was going to move out here. I thought I was going to stay in the garage or my office. I mean, I have an office that's in the garage at my house. And I didn't know that I was going to transition to come out here or not. But it's been kind of cool. Yeah, those are 22 by 11s on 8-inch rims, but that gives you a lot of sidewall, a lot of air pressure that you can adjust and change. And let's see, I got another picture. There it is. That thing was smooth in the woods. I always loved. I think E-Z-GO Marathons probably are one of my favorite carts lifted, how they look. They kind of look like a little Jeep, you know, when they're lifted like that. It's a good look to me. And that electrical system in a controller E-Z-GO Marathon is a good upgradable electrical system too, because it uses a 0 to 5K potentiometer. It's not ITS. It's a 0 to 5K potentiometer, which lots of controllers, you have your pick on lots of different brands of controllers that, see, not all controllers back then when I did this car would take ITS. They probably do now. And that's my dog Murphy at the time. Murphy's not with us anymore. Murphy lived to be 14 and a half years old. That was my girl. But anyway, that was that smooth cart I was talking about. Craig says, are there some downfalls to drop axle kits? No, not at all. They're very, very strong. They're stronger than spindle. So drop axle is basically just, you're not getting any benefit from it, but you're not getting any downfall from it either. It's a very strong setup. It's as strong as the stock setup, you know, basically. You're not losing any by raising it, because it's still a welded square tubing. And that was a Jake's drop axle lift too, by the way, for a marathon, 4-inch drop axle. But that was a smooth cart. I remembered we had talked about that on a previous episode. So if you want to go from one extreme to the other, like one extreme, this would be the smooth extreme. 22s on 8s. That would be one extreme. And then the other extreme would be like 20s on 14s or something, where you had just a very little very little bit of sidewall that you could adjust air pressure with. That would be the other extreme. So I just remember we had talked about that. So what size of lift? Oh, it's a 4-inch. That was a 4-inch drop axle on that Marathon, Joe. 4-inch drop axle. You can see how the tires, fill it up pretty good. With it just only a 4-inch with 22s. But yeah, it looks like a Jeep. Gene Hansen says he rides in the woods and lowering air pressure works very well. Gary England, will 25-inch Gator tires rob power from a gas golf cart? Cart in question is my 99 Workhorse. I sent you pictures in the past. Well, 25-inch tires are going to rob power on any golf cart. There's no doubt about it. They are going to rob power. Now, the fact that it's gas, they're going to compensate a little bit better than an electric would. A gas car is going to, you're going to start, those clutches are going to really start trying to exaggerate what they do to compensate for the 25s. I don't really like, I know there's a bunch of golf carts out there with more than 22s on them. There's lots of them, 23s, 25s, but for off-road activity, I never like to go above 22s. On-road activity, you can do whatever you want probably and get away with it. But that 99 is going to compensate better, but 25, that's pushing it. You're going to lose, you're going to rob some power, no doubt about it. '22s on 10s would be good too. You just won't have quite as much air pressure. You're not going to be quite as floaty, because that golf cart felt like you were just floating on air. It had a Cadillac ride to it. Okay. If you would like to contact us for any reason at Golf Cart Garage, you are welcome to with some suggestions or anything that you need to let us know about. Here is the email address for support@golfcartgarage.com and the phone number. You can call us. You can also get in touch with me directly. My direct email is 00timfreeman@gmail.com. If you would like to get in touch with me directly, let me close that. Great show, Tim. I'll see you next Tuesday. I have no idea what I'm going to do for those 6 days in between. Well, that's what we're going to do for now, Big Mike. But we'll see how it works out. It's all good, though. It is all good. It's all good reasons behind it. Contact? Okay, I got a new coupon. If you go to golfcartgarage.com and you'd like to purchase something, I have a new coupon. Here it is. You can use this coupon code at checkout at golfcartgarage.com. You get 5% off any other parts you order. Use the coupon code TIM18. TIM18. This code expires on February 20th, 2024. Thank you, Jeffrey. Kirk watches reruns about 20s on 14s. Big mistake. See, there you go. That's what I was saying. That's 20s on 14s is like the opposite end of the spectrum of what I was just showing on that Marathon with 22s on 8s. And it's a Cadillac ride, but probably not the best ride for asphalt, but that car never was on asphalt. Is what I'm saying. It never touched asphalt. It was always on grass, pasture, woods trail, and so it was not an asphalt runner at all. The man I sold it to just needed to drive it. I remember he just wanted to drive it from his house down his driveway to check his mail and back to his house. He had a long dirt driveway. That's all he needed to do. And so it was perfect for that with stock electronics. But if I had another Marathon in that good a condition, I wish you could have seen more detailed pictures of that car. It was in excellent condition. I came across a whole fleet of them. It was a whole fleet of electric Marathons from a northern golf course. And I only bought one. I just bought that one because I bought some other cars. I should have bought the whole fleet because they were all in excellent condition. I didn't realize how good a condition it was until I got it home and in my shop and started installing the lift kit and everything that I wanted to do to it, that's when I figured out how good a condition it actually was in. Big Mike, oh yeah. Bill B, what part of the country are you in, Tim? I am in Central Arkansas, Bill. I'm in Central Arkansas. I send you my tax number, do I get dealer pricing? And that's not going to be up for me to decide, Jeff. But probably not. William Risho, we should all watch old episodes on Thursday. There you go. That's what you can do. You can go back and watch some old episodes on Thursdays. Set yourself an alarm reminder on Thursdays at 12 noon Central Time that you got to go watch a rerun. Let me check Facebook over here. Oh, we got my brother on Facebook. Cool show until you showed Murphy. You'll see, that's my brother on Facebook there. My real brother. I have a real brother, by the way. I don't mean my bro. I mean, that's my actual brother. East Tennessee near Knoxville, Bill B. At some point, I may lift and put 23s on the rims. Should have typed that in differently. But you could call up and ask Jeffrey. Bart Gillum, your hour is up. Yep, you're right. You're right, Bart. I need to get out of here. All right. Thank everybody for showing up. Jeffrey, you see there? I told you it's not out of the question. It's saying email support at Golf Cart Garage with your PA tax number, and our admin support will get to you on what we can offer. There you go. Thank you, Tim. Awesome. Thank you, Bill. Thank everybody for showing up today, and I hope it's not too bad that we're going to go to one live episode a week. I hope that news doesn't hit you too hard, but that's what we're going to do. So I will see everybody on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and like I said, I'll let you know on whenever we're going to do another hat giveaway, and you'll have a week, but you'll know for sure to set yourself a reminder that way. You got a week to do it. We'll see y'all later. The garage is now closed.